Our presentation this afternoon is a panel presentation, and one or two of us may take over. We each of us have a knack, so we'll be dueling for control here. The topic has been adjusted a little bit, as you know, and it all focuses back to what we can do to harness the power of the tools that Google gives us in order to use them for family history. About 5 years ago, Dan Lynch wrote a book called Googling Your Genealogy, which was a runaway bestseller. It's now in its second revised edition. And this focused a lot of attention in the genealogical community on making use of the tools of Google. Quite a few people were already doing it, but now they had some instruction in that direction. One of the other speakers at Roots Tech, who is very popular along with Dan, is Lisa Louise Cook, and a third is Lisa Alzo. Both of them write extensively about different ways you can use Google tools. Jean is focusing us on just one of those tools, and she is using particularly guidance from Lisa Alzo in an article that she wrote in this second issue of Tracing Your Ancestors Using Google. This is a publication of the Moorhead Publishing Company, which puts out Internet Genealogy magazine, and Lisa is a regular contributing editor to that. So Jean has helped us pull together a presentation on using Google Blogger for your genealogy. Now, in getting ready for this, the day before we left, Jean went in and created a Harris family genealogy blog, just to get a feel for what we were going to be talking about. Almost before she let her fingers off the keyboard, there was response. I may be exaggerating a little, but anyway, she had, 16 watchers almost immediately, as soon as she set this up and let it go live. And she is now starting to get comments back on it. That's how powerful a tool this can be. And that's because you're dealing with a whole family of Google tools, and there are people out there who have Google searches working in the background, and they tell them when there's something new coming on like this, and then they can immediately get involved. Do you want to start the slides, Jean?
There's a reference to this magazine, which I bought at a bookstore. And and as a matter of fact, Lisa also wrote all the articles in that magazine. So you get to learn a lot of stuff about Google.
Okay, what is Blogger? Blogger is a free weblog and publishing tool. A blog is a place where it's a more subtle and intimate Facebook. Almost people can post what they're thinking about something. A lot of people have different topics, such as what their daily life, like someone who has a certain career that is in common, they can share their everyday life with other people. Other people can comment on it, interact with that person, get to know them better. So it's an intimate and subtle environment for people to get to know each other and learn about different things. Like a conversation.
Oops. Okay, I'm hitting this too hard, sorry. Let's go back. There we go.
Okay, why use a blog? The reason that we're giving you today to use this blog is to connect with family and other researchers. You can post your findings with your research on here, connect with family and other people that are needing to get information about or people with the same surname can find different things, or researchers to know more about that surname.
And this can become a repository where you can share information by posting it there for the people that you are already communicating with on your blog. This is Jean's way of describing it. And as we told you, she's already drawing people into hers just by what she has created. She has people coming to her.
You throw the line out, by golly, you'll be able to reel them in.
Okay, this magazine has many pages on how to set up a blog, different ideas that you can have, or different ideas that you can utilize to search for things about your family, research, and then put it on your site.
Lisa actually will take you through the process step by step.
Okay, yeah, this book gives ideas for your website and content, and to create good content so that people will want to come back. The Google Blogger has an interface where you can easily put in any domain, and then it starts it up. You can go to designing a or you can pick a template for your website so that it has a certain design, or you can just easily start blogging on it, get your information out there. Okay, your blog can have a goal like connect with family. If you want to know more about your family, you can set up a page, talk about it. Other people can come and give you information, pass information, and then you guys can start communicating. You can help other people with the research that are wanting to learn more about that family's history, and you can break down brick walls so that you can.
When you think in terms of goals, you could even set up 2 or 3 different blogs, and you could focus a blog very narrowly on a specific small project you're working on, rather than doing it just on all of your family, so that you can have a very developed conversation, discussion, exchange on just one particular problem, such as a certain brick wall, if you wanted to. The blog can be as narrowly defined as you want, or as wide as you want to make it.
Okay, and this one ties into the last one. What will you write about? Will you write about your family's history? Will you write about needing more information? You can ask questions if you need to. People can go on there, and if they know enough about it, they can answer those questions. And then you can also pick like a target audience. Like, is it someone that is going straight for that one family, or are you going to have multiple families in one thing? So, or in one blog in your community.
And Gene, feel free to jump right in. Don't act like a cat got your tongue.
Okay, yes. Blogger offers ways so that you can arrange pages, putting certain things on one page instead of keeping it all in one. So you can make multiple pages for maybe a gallery, one where you just post blogs, and another one where you just write stuff that maybe you don't want people to respond to.
And bear in mind, this is indexed by Google, so people will find
Yes.
what you are putting out there and be drawn to your site.
Okay, yeah, like I said earlier, it's easy to name. As soon as you create an account, you can click create a blog and then immediately put in a name. So give consideration to these. So if you were trying to find something about Bill's family,
Payback time after this.
But this goes back again to when we were talking about setting a goal for your blog. What it is you want to do, what do you want to accomplish with this blog? What audience are you
What
working
title
with?
will make it
So that-
easier for them to find you, as opposed to Bill's
I
party
would
time?
read Billy's party time.
Yeah, really, you would go to that.
But your title for your blog can help establish that goal and draw your readers and filter the readers that you want to get in there to work with, to exchange with.
photos and images. It has an easy way so that you can add images to your post, or I think just post them as a standalone image, so that you can. It gives more information about the person, so you can see if you're writing about a person, you can give them a picture so they know if they're dead. You can add pictures of their grave, where to find it, and so yeah, enhance your post.
And you can tag your pictures, and those tags are what will be picked up by the Google indexing.
Yes.
What do you mean by tag your picture?
There's capability in the Google Blogger to attach tags to it. So you can have a picture that could be taken at a family reunion in 1910 in Benton County, Arkansas, and you can tag it the Gann
Williams family reunion and where it was and last picture of Uncle Pete, etc. And that sort of thing will be picked up in the indexing.
And just like pictures, you can either write about certain things such as family stories, or you can upload video and audio that people can listen to or watch instead of reading.
I will add something to this. An example of this was many, many years ago, a couple older cousins of mine got together with the last member of this family and recorded my great aunt Annis talking about the migration of several of the related families in nowhere, Missouri, and they all got up and they moved to the area around Waverly, Kansas. And they all bought land and got their own farms and just migrated across the line. There were some really fascinating aspects to her story because it happened when she was a little girl. And some very funny parts of the story which are so entertaining to listen to. Well, I had it on a reel of tape, so I took it to a place that would put it onto a CD. And they said, not a problem, we'll put it on the machine and you can come by tomorrow afternoon and pick it up. So I got a call from him later on and he said, well, would you mind waiting a couple days? And I said, well, has your machine broken down? He goes, no, but everybody wants to listen to it. It's such a fabulous story. And it ended up, I made a CD jacket for it showing a Smith family reunion, a huge panoramic picture all across this CD jacket, and then made copies of the CD and gave them out for Christmas presents. And we have one at the Mid-Continent Genealogical Library, and then I saw that the Library of Congress is really wanting audio stories from people who are your ancestors. And so I sent them one, and they sent me a very nice letter saying and it was so enjoyable to listen to, you know. So it's great. The video and the audio family stories just really bring your past, you know, to life.
Okay. I believe you have another example for this one too. You can combine historic dates and events with your family stories. So let's say you have a family member that was through a tragedy maybe, or something that was going on locally, nationally, or internationally. You can write about, if they have a story for it, you can put it in your blog so that other people can read about it. So.
Yeah, there was a tornado that hit one of the small Missouri towns that my family lived in, and they ran a special edition of the county newspaper that I have a copy of, and they interviewed people in town, including the surviving relatives of mine, and it was very, very interesting. So, you know, if the historic date happens to be something that happened like a tornado in your county or D-Day, you know, you can really tie them in to your own personal things sometimes. And that just adds more perspective. Come on. And that is just an example of the blog page that I designed. You could spend a lot of time if you wanted to on just the design of your page, but there are a lot of very, very simple templates that they have out there.
And this is showing it actually in the template designer that Google provides. And you can see here you have your choice of different templates. You can scroll through and pick what you want. You can change the background. A number of layout. Here's advanced changes you can make. There are a number of things you can do to tailor this to make it exactly what you want.
And as you're designing your page, you also can see, you can see what that page is beginning to look like on your computer, but it will also show you what it's going to look like on somebody's tablet or phone. So that's a wonderful aspect of this Google also.
And then this basically becomes the background, I can't think of a better term for it, on which your blog posts will
Right.
appear. Every time you go in and add something, you're still going to have this uniform feel to it, and people will be able to navigate it. They'll be able to go into your archived blog posts that will remain there. They'll be able to search, and they can comment on things too.
And the thing about any of this, whether it's part of setting up the blog itself or setting up the design, you can always go, stop a minute, look at it, and what it's going to look like on your computer screen, and if you don't like it, just go back and change. Easy peasy.
Yes, Louis?
That publication that he held up in his hand.
Yes,
Where do you purchase that
I purchased that at a bookstore, but you can also get it online.
from?
From
Amazon
if you go to the website for Your Genealogy Today or Internet Genealogy, it's the same publisher.
www.internet-genealogy.com.
There you go. And they have a volume 1 that I understand is also extremely informative, that handles a whole other bunch of things on Google, such as Google Books and where to find books on Google Books about genealogy research,
www.internet-genealogy.com.
And that, my friends, was short and sweet.
And that's it.
Yeah,
So,
we really appreciate your
questions.
Question for you.
Yeah.
I blog on a Polish blog site,
Uh-huh.
and I wasn't aware that when I hit enter, I expected it to show up my response to somebody else's comments right away. I waited all day, didn't show up. I did it again, like a klutz,
Uh-huh.
and then I see the next day, I have 2 entries. Somebody the manager was actually screening the comments I made. I wasn't aware of that. Can that be done? Can that be eliminated? If you make your own like this, can you do that?
I believe through privacy settings, you can
Right.
toggle different things like this.
So you have the ability then to screen every input from everybody if you choose to. Does that make
Yes.
sense?
You have a lot of settings that allow you to control who sees your blog and who does not.
And who can comment.
Making inappropriate comments.
Right.
You can pre-screen
Right.
before it goes live.
Well, I think you should have a disclosure on there somewhere so people know. That might happen on it, but you wouldn't have
Like
read
I
it.
could read, I could read Polish.
Well, yeah, I know.
I did the same thing on the YouTube channel that I just put up. So I think that was one of the boxes that you could, because you have to fill out a whole bunch of different settings as you go through.
Right, you can either, so the comments are all allowed, they have to be edited first and checked first, they have to be approved first, or you can refuse to accept comments.
And, if you want to limit the people who can even get to your blog,
That's a piece of personal sometimes.
right. It depends on, here again, going back to what is your blog for? Who do you want to see? What are your goals?
Gene, do you want to see if you can get online and pull up another one for them to see? Pull up Dear Myrtle. She's one of the most active bloggers in the genealogy community. It's just dearmyrtle.com. It's blog.dearmyrtle.com. And at Rootstech, there is a whole area. Since blogging is so popular in the genealogy community, at Rootstech, in the exhibit hall, there is a whole area that is set up as the Bloggers Lounge. And the bloggers float all through the conference, and you can spot them because they're wearing Mardi Gras beads to set themselves off, or sometimes a badge.
Describe Roots Tech then.
Roots Tech is the largest genealogy conference in the country now. It started about 5-6 years ago, and the first year it had around 2,500 people in attendance. The next year, 4,800. The next year, I believe, was around 9,000. And last year, I didn't go that one year because they were holding it in combination with the Federation of Genealogy Societies, and I was afraid that'd be too big a crowd. I went the year after. Last year it was 17,500 people. All genealogists, all focused on what they were there for, and took over the entire convention center and had an exhibit hall the size of 2 football fields. One area in there, about the same square footage as this room, was what was called the Bloggers Cafe, and it was set up as a Bloggers Lounge, and it was set up with lounge furniture where the blogger and some tables with the laptops where the bloggers were constantly blogging about what's happening here at Roots Tech. They were constantly posting on that, and then over in one corner was a glass broadcast booth where people were recording videos that were then being posted to YouTube. But blogging is a major part of Roots Tech, and you had blog posts going out from there constantly. And Dear Myrtle was one of the speakers. Lisa also is a frequent speaker. She had 2 or 3 sessions a day. I can't remember her real name, but she goes by Dear Myrtle in the genealogy community, and she and Thomas McAtee are the 2 leading bloggers at Roots Tech, and constantly speak on aspects of blogging and other things that they're well familiar with. And if you want to scroll through here, you can get a feel for what hers is about. See, she set it up. She tells about herself, and there's a disclosures panel up there where she can tell you how she's going to operate.
Connected to our YouTube channel.
Yeah, so you can integrate, you can connect other activities that you have like that, and she offers her webinars through here.
What is a webinar?
It's an online class. It's scheduled for a particular time,
seminar
and
online.
you can make a reservation, and then you can view it at the time.
There's several webinars on autosomal DNA. Of course, you have to pay for them, but,
How much?
well, it depends on who's doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, is it $5?
You know, it's usually more than that.
Thomas McAfee is more expensive. They used to be $5.95, but he's upped it quite a bit. But all the Dear Myrtle ones on YouTube are free. All these YouTube
Well, this
are
must
free.
be Myrtle.
Yeah. Here she is, and this is Who is Dear Myrtle? And this was created 2 years ago, and it's had 5,000 views.
Dear Myrtle, anyway, documents for my parents that link them to their parents and so forth back through the generations. Now, if you'd like to know a little bit more about what Dear Myrtle does, I mean, it's a nom de plume that I've taken on. You've already discovered Dear Myrtle's YouTube channel, but there's also a Google Plus community called Dear Myrtle's Genealogy Community. And the only reason I put Genealogy Community in there is so you can search for it if you were new. I'll provide the link to you in the show notes below. I also have a Facebook page, and that's where I will post things. And you know what? It seems that lately more is happening in the way of video blogging than actual blogging. But I do have a blog. Here it is. It's over here at blog.dearmyrtle.com. And occasionally I will post a blog. Most recently, I posted something on our 3-2-1 site challenge. Every month we have a different research challenge. And we talk about it. on Google+. Not to worry, no problems.
So that's how, from the blog, she's used this more or less as a, I'd call it a landing pad, and she can lead you into any of the other things she wants to share. But her blog is her starting point for interaction with the genealogical community. And you can do the same thing with a blog focused on your family and interact with those who are interested in either just other family members or a broader community at large and may be able to help you with your research.